Hello and welcome back. I'm glad you're here. We've gone through quite a learning process so far, and we're going to be continuing right along now with some core material. Remember, we've been pursuing the answer to two questions. First, what is mental health? And secondly, how can it be improved? I've tried to impress upon you the idea that understanding what mental health is itself is important before you can make conscientious, deliberate steps toward improving in that area. If you don't know what it is you're looking for, it's very hard to find it. But with the definition, it will make our task a great deal easier. One of the problems that we face is that we've undoubtedly absorbed the definitions, if you've thought about it at all, absorb the definitions of mental health that are common in the literature and in practice. These involve generally two things. Mental health is defined in two ways, unfortunately. One is that mental health is simply the absence of mental illness, and that definition does absolutely nothing toward defining what it actually is. By saying what it is not doesn't help a bit as to what it is. And it certainly gives no indication of how to improve in that area. The other and most common way of defining mental health is to describe the properties that a positive mental health will display. Our search for a definition of mental health led us to an examination of its two components: inborn intentions and basic beliefs. Basic beliefs are the meanings that we have attached to experience throughout life and have stored in our subconscious mind, where they are available for interacting, helping us interact, causing us to interact, determining our interactions with the outside world. That's basic beliefs. The other component of mental health is our set of 4 intrinsic behavioral goals that are common to everyone. Okay, with that foundation firmly in mind of its two components, we are finally ready to offer a definition. So here it is. Drum roll, please. Mental health is the degree of correlation or agreement between one's learned basic beliefs and their innate inborn intentions. This is very important, so please have a good concept of this before you go on. You might want to pause the video and think about it for a minute or two before you go on. Mental health is the degree, is a state of mind that is determined by the degree of correlation between one's learned basic beliefs and the intrinsic inborn intentions. This definition means that having a positive set of beliefs that lead to agreement between basic beliefs and inborn intentions will give you a healthy mental health. This will be reflected in such behaviors as, and such concepts as a positive self-concept. You will think well of yourself, you'll respect others, you will have positive relationships, your accomplishments will be commensurate with your abilities, and you will have very little difficulty in making decisions, quality decisions, and making choices. With a positive self-concept and a healthy mental health, you will accept responsibility for yourself. In fact, every aspect of your life will be made easier. It will be easier to deal with whatever comes in life when you have a healthy mental health. On the other hand, when basic beliefs are contrary to, in opposition to, a inborn intention, their mental health is going to be compromised to some extent. And it will be in every one of us. So don't get upset with suggesting that you have poor mental health. Not exactly the case, but mental health can be compromised somewhat when those two are in conflict with each other. And for any of us, this could very easily be done, expressed by a low self-image, problematic personal relationships, a pessimistic outlook on life, fewer accomplishments than would be justified by your innate abilities. Any one of us could have that degree of poor mental health or compromised mental health. It's universal. But for some, the discord between basic beliefs and inborn intentions can take a more serious, more detrimental turn. Those with even poor mental health can have such problems as greed, prejudice, disrespect for others, blaming, xenophobia, substance abuse, violence and even terrorism, suicide and homicide, misogyny and misandry. Misogyny is hatred of women, misandry is hatred of men. Other problems such as juvenile and adult delinquency. All of these are reflections of a poor negative connotation, correlation between basic beliefs and inborn intentions. The list is endless, sadly. Another aspect of basic beliefs and mental health that you need to be aware of is that sometimes these basic beliefs that contribute to mental health will conflict with each other, which makes mental health a little more problematic. I remember years ago taking a course in economics at Xavier University outside of Philadelphia. And the professor came in for the first day, and said, I'm going to define economics for you. I thought that was a pretty good idea since that was a course I'd signed up for. And he said, economics is the allocation of limited resources to unlimited demands. And that definition stuck with me, and I have thought about it often in terms of our basic beliefs when they conflict with each other. For instance, one of the most common conflicts between healthy basic beliefs is those involving our work, our sense of accomplishment, and our families or our love relationships. Both of these major areas in our life take much the same resources. It takes time and energy and focus and dedication and even money. And it is well nigh impossible for you to have sufficient resources to satisfy both sense of accomplishment and love relationships completely. So some sort of compromises must be made. The idea is not to abandon one for the other, but to be able to balance the two when there is a conflict. Balance is a very important word that we need to be able to keep in mind as we practice good, healthy mental health. An even greater problem arises when it becomes necessary to take some action or behavior that is contrary to your own basic beliefs, and you know it, and it is contrary in general to an inborn intention. If you're faced with this kind of situation, and you will be sooner or later, take a moment to think about an impartial observer. With that impartial observer looking at the situation and your contemplated behavior, agree or disagree that what you propose to do is necessary. If it is, then you're going to have to do whatever it is. But be very careful about making the decision as to the necessity of a behavior that is contrary to your inborn intentions. If, for instance, you benefit yourself, try to benefit yourself, enhance your own well-being by negating or harming or disrupting or diminishing another person, then that is going to be very difficult to justify in most instances. Each inborn intention is a fixed standard by which you can compare your basic beliefs. Notice that there is only one of the four inborn intentions with which you can have a perfect relationship, and that is human dignity. All the others, the other three, sense of accomplishment, freedom of choice, and love, are always going to involve other people, and you will not be able to have a perfect correlation with those in the greater scheme of things. But with human dignity, there is no prohibition against your having a perfect accord with your belief in yourself, your own worthwhileness, your own human dignity. But those others are good goals toward which we can strive constantly, even though a perfect attainment is not going to be possible. Going in that direction, though, and making decisions and choices and believing in the direction of sense of accomplishment, freedom of choice, and love is a good thing. Great. So now you have a good definition of what mental health is. So in preparation for our exercise for this session, you knew there would be one. I'd like for you to recall the definition that I've suggested for mental health. Mental health is the state of mind determined by the degree of correlation between one's learned basic beliefs and the inborn intentions. Now then, for your exercise, what I'd like for you to do is to write out your own definition of mental health. You can use as much of the definition suggested as possible, but I'd like for you to rephrase it into your own words. What does this mean to you? Does your definition allow for a distinction between poor mental health and good mental health or healthy mental health? Mental health is involved in a range of, over a wide range of thoughts and feelings and behaviors and quality of mental health. So a definition of mental health has to accommodate both extremes. Is your definition, as you express it, applicable to everyone? Mental health is a condition of every human being, whatever its quality. So the definition that we have, that you come up with, needs to be related to each one of them. As always, I'd like for you to write down your answer and keep it in that file folder that you are keeping. You'll be very happy to have that in the future. Okay, we're ready to wind up another one. I'm ready for a coffee break. Let's see, yes, my cup on our wonderful logo for Initiative for Mental Health Awareness always helps me through the day. Okay, so we've answered the first question, what is mental health? And now we're ready to take up the second question, how can mental health be improved? So, on to the next few videos, and we'll see you then. In the meantime, remember, understanding what mental health is the first step toward improvement. Bye for now.